Hello, 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 you guys. And guess what? I am back with another dynamic, beautiful Black businesswoman today. So, in a time where modern relationships are often challenged by shifting societal norms and personal struggles, Naima stands as a beacon of wisdom, resilience, and transformation. Now, through her business, Naima Speaks Life, LLC, she helps Black women reclaim their feminine power, build intentional relationships, and elevate their personal brand to attract high value partnerships. Her journey from a young girl who demanded love and respect to a woman passionately advocating for the restoration of the Black family is one story of grit, purpose, and vision. Now, in this exclusive interview, Naima is going to share the wisdom behind her work and how she's shaping the future of Black love. I hope you're ready. So, without further ado, Naima.
Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
Awesome. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to
Thank
be
you so much for just allowing us to tell your story and for being on this platform. We are so happy when we meet beautiful Black women so that we can express and show the world how dynamic we really are. Okay.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay. Awesome. Well, we're going to jump right in. What inspired you to start your business and when did you know that this was your calling?
Yeah, so I would say when I started dating, it was around age 13, and I know that may seem young, but these were real relationships, not puppy
Mhm.
love like most people may think. I mean, I grew up in a household where I seen the women around me lead their relationships. They were very dominant, very demanding, controlling, and I knew there was something off about that relationship dynamic, right?
Mhm.
Um, so when I went out into the dating world at age 13, I repeated those same behaviors. Like I was in control, I was the dominant, I had to have it my way. I was also an only child. So that played a lot into how I showed up in my relationships and the dating space. And within my marriage, 16 years I've been married to my wonderful husband. And for the first 10 years, something was off. Like there was an imbalance, right? So I would talk to God and I would ask myself, God, what am I supposed to do with my life? Like, what is my calling? What is my purpose? Because I know I'm not supposed to be working for somebody else's company forever.
Mhm.
I knew that. And I started to spend quality time with myself, alone time. I started to go inward because I felt like I was missing that deep connection with myself, right? And then that's when God, one day, He spoke to me so clearly and told me, like, I put you on this earth to speak life and to help women. I had already been helping women for free for so long. Like, I'm the person that people go to for advice. I'm the person people that they talk to about relationships because A, they know I've been married, and B, I just have that internal wisdom, I guess. I don't know. But when God told me that I put you here to speak life, I said, well, Lord, what am I supposed to speak about? Right? Like, what do you want me to talk about? And He told me to speak about what you already are speaking about for free. Speak about what you know. Speak about what the women need help with, especially Black women. So I said, you know what? I'm going to create a speaking and a coaching business around dating and teaching women how to really just be brave and tap into their feminine powers and start to attract healthier masculine men.
Okay. Now, you've been in a successful marriage for a while. You mentioned 16 years, right?
Yep,
Um,
16 years.
what are the top three relationship values that Black women must embrace for long term love?
Yeah, top three relationship values. I would say, for one, I think women need to have their standards and their non-negotiables, but they need to be balanced. They need to make sense. They need to be realistic, right? I feel like a lot of women are either in one of two categories. Either A, they are expecting kind of too much from men they just met, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they're not expecting enough. So they have to
Mm-hmm.
find that balance in between. And you can only do that once you can completely understand yourself. And you can have those non negotiables and those hardcore values that you're not going to break for anybody. I also think that women need to understand these three concepts: to define, align, and attract. That's the model that I live by. Those are my three sole intentions. And I feel like it can change my life and anybody else's life if they decide to apply them. Define, align, attract. So let me break that down really quickly. So define means understanding who you are, right? Seeking enlightenment on yourself, knowing where you come from, your childhood, your trauma, what needs to be healed, right? Once you can really define who you are, then you can start to align, step 2, with that person that you now recognize and that you're familiar with, and then the person that you wish to become, right? Mm-hmm. Attraction looks like discipline. It looks like cutting out distractions. It looks like, monitoring your social media, all that scrolling we be doing, like cutting that out, starting to follow people who are in alignment with where you want to be. And then you can get to the third soul intention, which is to attract, right? Define, align, attract. Now, attraction is not going to come drop on your doorstep like an Amazon package in 2 days, okay? But I like to tell people what you can expect is to meet new people that you never met before, like, experience new places, right? Just take new chances, because now you're operating in a different energy. Yes. And then you can start energetically align with the thing you want, whatever the thing is, whether it's a man, a job, a business, health and wellness, it really doesn't matter. Now you are equipped to align with that thing. So I feel like those are the 3 most important things that women should take into any relationship if they want success.
So you said define, align, and attract.
And attract.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I'm going to keep repeating that throughout this interview so that people get that in their head. Now, how did your own love story inspire your approach to coaching and relationship building?
You said my love story?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I met my husband at age 12. Okay. We were just friends. We weren't dating each other, but he was a solid individual. Like, I felt his energy. I knew he was a good friend, and I knew that he had the potential to be a good mate. So we started dating at age 14. Okay. And we broke up around maybe 16, and we got back together at 18, and we've been together ever since. So for myself, because I didn't grow up with very supportive people in my home, I didn't see those positive relationship examples in the home. I told myself that if I can't control these people I live with, I can't control how they treat me, I can't control, the disconnect that I feel with them, I'm going to definitely choose people outside the home that can help me on my journey, and somebody that's going to be consistent in my life, because I had never had that in the home. Okay. So I want the same thing for women. Like, I want them to find their why. For me, my why was because I never had stability. I want stability within my man or the people that I choose to bring into my life. So my love story has been the perfect example of showing up for myself and requiring the things I need from my man. Because it's like, why not? Why wouldn't I? If I don't require these things from him, what does that say about me?
Yeah.
What does that say about how I feel and how I respect myself? So I just want women to be able to find their why and find their meaning. And that way they can go into the dating space that much more confident to let that man know, like, listen, you're going to have to be here or I'm going to go somewhere else. And that's it.
Yes. Define, align, and attract. That's right.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Now, a lot of people right now are giving advice on relationships. But what makes your coaching approach unique and transformational?
Yeah, I would say my experience, my real life experiences. I tell people, listen, you don't have to come with me to do your coaching, but make sure the person that you choose, make sure that they are, in a relationship, or they at least have been in a relationship, a long-term one, or a marriage, because it's easy to get online and just start spewing out things you've heard before or what you think is real. I feel like when it comes to my coaching, what separates me is that I'm giving women real advice. I'm not pandering to you, telling you what you want to hear. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell Black women, especially, exactly the steps they need to take to get the results they want, to get you from A to Z, right? because for me, relationships are not difficult. I think that we make them difficult because we don't understand ourselves. We don't have emotional intelligence. We don't know what we want. We don't have our non-negotiables. And once you can take those very simple things, relationships become simple, but we make them difficult. So definitely, I would say my experience, again, I've been dating since I was 13 years old. And I've always required my men to show up for me, even at that young age. So I feel like grown women definitely have the ability to, you know, expect the same treatment if a 13-year-old can do it.
Yes.
So that's my approach.
Yeah. Now, you emphasize that femininity is not a one size fit all thing. How should Black women redefine that for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. This one is deep because I talk to a lot of women, in particular Black women, and I feel like there are so many Black women who feel like femininity is like not for us. Like, we don't want to be muted. We don't want to be a doormat. We want to have our voices. And I explain to them that you can have all of that. Like, when I used to think of femininity, I used to think of the weak woman, the quiet, shy, very dainty, you know, that type of woman. And I think a lot of us have that archetype in our minds when we think of submission and feminine, right? But that's not the case. Again, femininity is not one size fits all. You can be boisterous, you can be opinionated, you can be all these wonderful things that make up the Black woman. But the difference is the energy that you're providing, especially when you are in his space. Okay. What energy are you giving him? Because men need feminine energy in order for their masculinity to thrive, right? And vice versa. So it's not about being quiet. It's not about not having an opinion. It's about respecting the feminine and masculine energy to create that ultimate relationship balance. But your personality is your personality. And I don't never want a Black woman to feel like they have to lose themselves just to claim her feminine rights or her feminine powers, because that's not it. Not at all. Okay. You talk to my man, he'll tell you I'm nothing quiet. Okay?
He said, no, she got her own opinions, but you just respect. I get what you're saying. You respect the energy. You treat him in a way that a woman should treat a man. I get exactly what you're saying. Yes. Now, what are the biggest mistakes you see women making when it comes to
it's a respect thing.
Okay. Now, what are the biggest mistakes you see when women with women, Black women especially, when it comes to attracting and maintaining relationships with high quality men?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Attracting and maintaining relationships with high quality men. I think it depends on the woman. Again, like we mentioned before, you have a group of women who are expecting way too much from men they don't know, right? I want you to pay my bills. I want you to take me out. We can't do a coffee date. I just did a live today on coffee dates. What's wrong?
I like coffee date.
What's wrong with a coffee date? Like,
buy your own coffee. Yeah.
Come on. So I think women are on the spectrum, but on the opposite ends. On one end, you are expecting way too much from a man you don't know, right? Because you think that high value means what's in his wallet. But that's not the case.
That's not the case. Yeah.
That's not the case. High value is high quality. It's how he treats you. It's how he treats himself. It's how he carries himself. It's his values, and are they aligned with yours? That's what you need to be worried about. And then you have the women on the opposite end of the spectrum who really just accept anything, right?
Yeah.
Accept anything. Why? Because they don't know how to be alone. They have not found themselves. They don't have the confidence, right? And so again, we need that balance. And if you don't have that balance, this is what's going to keep you from attracting quality men of substance, and men who want the same thing you want, men who are looking for their feminine equal. Absolutely.
Now, what advice for Black women what advice do you have for Black women who have been hurt in past relationships and are hesitant to trust again?
Yeah, I would definitely say if you've been hurt and you feel yourself being reluctant to put yourself back out there on the market, I would say dissect those experiences and learn from them. Like really break them down and find some type of clarity so you can take that information and know what to do or what not to do the next time, right? I also would tell women to learn to take responsibility. A lot of the times we love to blame the man. He did this. He did that. He didn't do this. But listen, you allowed him into your space. You allowed him to not show up for X amount of months or years, right? So you got to figure out why you allowed that for so long, right? And take responsibility. I tell my ladies, like, it's 100% your fault. Now, obviously, that's like it's a little black and white. I understand, but I say it that way because I want them to learn to take the most amount of responsibility they possibly can. Of course, he has some fault, right? He's a human and he participated in it, but you had a choice and you didn't make it. Why didn't you make that choice? I would also tell her to continue to love. Continue to love. You cannot put those same wrongdoings and those same attributes on a new man. He's not the old man. The only thing you can do is change how you approach dating and how you approach relationships and the type of men that you allow into your space. That's the only thing you can do. So if you're attracting low quality men, then you got to look at yourself and ask yourself, why am I attracting these men, or why are these type of men attracted to me?
Yeah. Now, you encourage women to brand themselves like a business. What does that mean, and why is that powerful?
Yeah, it's super powerful because think about it. When we think about our favorite companies, right? Amazon, Starbucks, Costco, I don't know, right? What Apple, right? These are the companies who have done a very great job at attracting us and making sure that we are repeat customers, right? They know what we want. So if you want a certain type of man, certain quality of man, masculine, provider, protector, the leader, all the things, then wouldn't it make sense for you to become his target audience?
Yes.
So I think that women need to learn to brand themselves like businesses. And that encompasses brand identity, knowing who you are and what you want to put out there. That encompasses brand personality. What is your personality like? Is it dynamic? Can you hold a conversation, right? And then my favorite, the fun one, packaging.
Yes.
Right? What do you have on? Like, is it appropriate, right? Does it accentuate your body, right? All these things come into brand awareness and brand identity and making sure that you are on his radar if he's in the market looking for his queen. The question is he looking for you?
Look, what is define, align, and attract.
Attract.
Yeah. What are 3 non-negotiable traits every woman should cultivate within herself before seeking a serious relationship?
3 non-negotiable traits. Well, everybody has their own non-negotiables. I will tell you that. So it's hard to give women specific things because we all different and we all have our different boundaries, right? But if I had to choose a few, I would say obviously making sure that the man wants what you want. Okay. Don't try to bend him and break him and mold him into something that you want him to be, because the longer you spend your time in that relationship, the harder it's going to be to walk away, because now you have emotions involved, right? Now you have the vested interest into staying because you have time spent. So I would say from the very beginning, make sure that your intentions and his intentions align with one another. If they don't, get out of there. It's not for you. What else? Oh, this is good. This is good. I would say making sure that he understands his role as the masculine. As long as you know yours as the feminine, As long as you know yours, then you understand his, because you have to understand both, right? If he does not see it the way you do, as far as the dynamic and the roles and the responsibilities, get out of there. Not going to work. Because we're not in the business of trying to change people's mind and, persuade them to think differently. He already has to come with that mindset. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And the last thing I would say is, just stay true to you, stay true to your core. I know that I mentioned a lot about branding and and it seems like I'm telling women to change who they are. Yes, there is some change involved, but we're not changing who you are at your core, the essence of you, what makes you who you are. That is going to stay the same. Don't ever change that. All I'm doing is adding some sprinkles on there, a little spice on there to make you pop and make you stand out even more, but you're already beautiful. You're already enough. And I want women to understand that completely.
Okay. Now, if you could debunk one major stereotype about Black women in dating, what would it be?
One major stereotype about Black women in dating. I would say that Black women don't have the ability to be feminine.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of people out there, including some Black men, who think that we don't have it in us to submit. The thing is, we want to be able to submit to a man who we can trust and a man who shows leadership abilities, right? Black women and all women have femininity and submission and softness and nurturing already inside us. It's what makes us women. Now, Black women may have a little bit of a harder time reaching that point because we've been through so much, right? In our homes, in this country, and we can go deep into that, but we don't got the type of time. Now, Black women may need some help pulling it out. We may need a little help, and we need a strong Black man who can understand our plight as a Black woman, as a Black person in this country, and can stick with us. So yes, Black women have the ability to be feminine. That is a myth. We are feminine women. We just need some of us just need a little bit more help, tapping into that feminine energy for sure.
I hear you on that, definitely. Now, how do you balance being present for your family while also scaling a successful coaching business?
I keep a good schedule, nice schedule. I love me a good schedule. I follow my schedule as closely as I can. Okay. I know what I'm doing when I wake up. I know what I'm doing from the time I go to bed. There are time frames and there are schedules, and I stick to them. Absolutely. For me, sticking to a schedule is 80%. 100% is wild. It doesn't make sense. We're humans. If I'm on my schedule 80%, because you got to leave room for the unknown and the kids and the doctors and all of that. But 80%, that is my 100%. So I keep a nice schedule.
Okay. Now, what's the biggest lesson that running your own business has taught you about yourself?
Yeah, definitely, man, so many things. But I would say the biggest lesson is that I am a fighter. Okay. I am no quitter. And I definitely am a problem solver. Like, let me tell you how I solve problems like nobody's business. I think that being a business owner, being a mother, being a wife, it's just taught me that I can do it all. I can do anything. I just got to have the desire to do it.
Yes, I can understand
Absolutely.
that. So, what lessons are you teaching your daughters about love, relationships, and personal power?
Yeah, my daughter, she's 14. She'll be 15 next month. And that's the age where they're already starting to get interested. And I'm just like, girl, if you don't knock it off. But realistically, I make sure that when I speak about relationships, I make sure that when I talk and I go to speak at events, I make sure that my daughter hears me. You know what I mean? Not only that, she sees me and her father, she sees that example of what a healthy relationship with two people who are just completely smitten with each other, even after all this time. After all this time, yeah, she sees that it's possible, right? So, and then obviously I do talk to her one-on-one about these things. So I'm making sure that she's getting it on all angles. She's getting it directly, she's getting it indirectly, and she's also getting the example of a healthy relationship. So I'm just happy that I can provide that for my kids, because I know that social media, television will have you thinking that it's not possible. That's what they want us to think, though, but absolutely not. There are some beautiful relationships, some beautiful marriages out here amongst Black people that have been together for many years, and it's possible for all of us.
I love the fact that you are promoting Black love so heavily. What is your ultimate vision for your coaching practice, and how do you see yourself expanding your platform?
Yeah, my vision for my coaching and my speaking, I want to do my part in just restoring the nuclear Black family. I think that together we are much stronger. When you have the feminine and you have the masculine and then you have the child, you have completeness. You have a whole picture, right? And I want Black women to just, I want to restore us to our throne, to our rightful place. Okay. Because when it comes to dating, when it comes to relationships, I feel like we're kind of lost out there a little bit. We kind of don't know where to go, what to do, who to seek, what type of men to date, what to accept, what to, throw away. And I just want us to have some sort of standards when it comes to Black women, and when it comes to us dating. We have to have standards, right? Yep. We have to have guidelines and a blueprint that we live by. And if I can just change my corner of the world and add my little 2 cents in it and help somebody navigate the relationship space, the dating space, and to ultimately seek that love, like, and longevity, another three piece that I think is important, then then I'm doing my work. I'm doing my mission out here. So yeah, and I want to grow my business and expand my business. Me growing my business and expanding my business has nothing to do with money, although that's a part of it. It's about expanding my meaning and my mission, and helping as many Black women as I can, and women in general as I can, right? Just to be more confident and to step into her feminine powers with authority and demand what she needs out of her man in a feminine way.
I love that. I love it, girl. Everything you say, I'm just loving. Now, how do you see your work shaping the next generation of Black women and Black families?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the more women that I reach, the more that they can pass this information down to their children to affect the next generation, just like I'm doing for my daughter, right? We just need more examples of Black women and Black leaders who can live by example, I would say, right? Because I'm actually doing it. I'm actually in the relationship. I've been in it for a long time. I'm actually teaching and coaching. And so I completely believe in practicing what I preach, right? And so if I can reach the women, then I can teach the women and they can teach their daughters. And I actually would like to open up my programs at some point for kids, for teen girls. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, in 5 years, what do you hope your impact will be on Black relationships and the Black family structure? And what kind of legacy do you want to leave on this world?
Yeah, I would say 5 years from now, the impact that I want to leave, I want to change the narrative, right, of the Black relationship, right? Mm-hmm. Have you ever went into the store and seen the Barbies or some type of dolls on the shelf, and I hate to say it, but the white doll got a husband, the Black doll is single?
Yeah.
Like, what is that about? That's the narrative. That doesn't have to be our reality, though. And for a lot of us, it's not our reality. But this is what they show in the media. This is how they portray us. So then when we're seeing that, we're being programmed to think that that's what it is. And that's all we can get. And that's all we deserve. And we don't have to be married. And we don't need to be married. And that's not the case.
Yeah, they've done a great job of separating the Black family in the media. Yeah.
Come on. They've done an amazing job, just like they do it everything else.
Yeah.
But this doesn't have to be our reality. Absolutely not. No. So my job on this earth is to change the narrative and change the paradigm of the Black woman and the Black man, to be honest.
Yeah.
To let them know that, no, we have to be responsible for one another. Because we are the only group of people who have gone through what we've gone through in this country. So how can you say you don't relate to me? How can you say I'm not feminine enough? How can you say I'm not this and that when you know what we've been through? So why don't you help me? And why don't we help each other?
Love that. I love it. Naimah, I'm going to drop off the screen for a moment. I want you to tell people how they can get in touch with you, where they can find you on social media, your website, all of that information. Okay?
Sure, absolutely. No problem. Okay, so my website is naimahspeaks.life, and Naimah Speaks Life on all social media platforms. Okay, Naimah Speaks Life right there, like you see on the screen. If you want to book my coaching services, you can do so right there on my website. Or if you want to set up a discovery call where me and you will sit down and just talk it out for about 20 minutes to see what you need help with, you can also self-book right there on my website, www.naimahspeaks.life.
Okay, Naimah, thank you again for just doing this interview. And I just loved it because I love how you are out here promoting Black love so heavily. Like, this is so dynamic. I hope all of you who get to see this video, who get to read the article about Naimah will actually give her a call, because as Black women, we need somebody to sort of help us and guide us and sort of give us that shape so that we understand and see things from a different perspective and maybe tell us the truth about ourselves. So, yes. So
that
Naimah,
part.
Thank you so much again.
I will tell it like it is.
Yeah. You know how it is. We don't
Thank
always
you.
be honest about, the wrong that we do in relationships. I preach about that often, about how, we need to sometimes take accountability and stop pointing. And remember, every time you point, it's 3 fingers pointing back at you. So
right back at you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I really do.
Thank you. Now, listen, you guys, Naimah is just like a lot of these other Black business women out here that we have been talking to. Her journey is proof that transformation begins from within. Her work through Naimah Speaks Life is not just about dating advice. It's about restoring balance, redefining femininity, and helping Black women step into their fullest potential in every aspect of their lives. As she continues to grow her platform and impact potential relationships and lives, her mission remains clear: helping Black women rediscover their power, attract the love they desire, and create legacies that last. Now, for more insight, coaching, and resources from Naimah, follow her on Instagram and stay connected to her work through Naimah Speaks Life. Thank you, you guys. And this has been another beautiful Black businesswoman, and we'll see you later.